Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting mice. Don't let these little Tasmanian devils wreak havoc on your tractors. They'll eat your wiring, short out your tractor, and talk about ruining a day on your tractor. So today we're going to talk about my latest find that I'm going to implement in my war against these mice. Can't be having them. Stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to the O&D Life. Today we're going to talk about a problem that I see show up on the Kubota equipment, tractor and equipment forum. It seems like it's starting to come up again this year. Seems to be every year. And that's mice inside your tractors and them wreaking havoc on the electrical system. So, you know, there's always questions about how to keep the mice away. And plenty of suggestions out there. Well, you know, dryer sheets, you know, mouse traps, bait, poison. Here on the homestead, you know, we have chickens, goats, horses, dogs, and so we've got lots of feed, lots of food, dog food, grain, you know, all of these things that mice like. So it's something that we're constantly having to battle ourselves. And one of the things, you know, I've tried a little bit of everything, you know, some of the snap traps, the glue pads, the bait, some humane traps as well. You know, I'll just say, you know, I live with a daughter and my wife, and they, you know, they want to ensure that there's something humane. So that kind of cuts out the glue traps. Those are, and that's a miserable way to go. So the bait, that's also pretty miserable. The humane traps, you know, where you catch, they go in and the door closes behind them. You know, we've had some success with those, and my daughters let the mice go out in the woods. But it seems like they only work for a little bit and then don't catch anything with them. The snap traps, you know, I do like that because it can be quick, but it doesn't always catch them on the head or neck. And so sometimes you just get a hind leg and dang it, you know, they're suffering, but they'll also drag my trap away. And so then I lose it, and you know, they go off into a hole somewhere amongst the stuff and end up dying. But, you know, and I find the trap and a carcass later on, but, you know, that's not a way to go either. So was looking for something a little bit, another option, just seeing what was out there, and I came across what we're going to talk about today. It's in this box. Okay, so what is it? Get up here. It's from Good Nature, A24 rat and mouse trap kit with counter. So how this differs is, there it is. You see up inside of it there. So there's some good videos online how that explains how it works. I'll go into it, but you know, they basically, you mount this up in an area where you have the problem, and there's a bait canister up here, and the mouse will make their way, put their head up in there and hit that trip wire there basically, and then this piece over here will come shooting across and crack them in the skull. So it runs on a CO2 canister, you know, that goes in on the other end. And you know, this is just in a holder right now. But that is what's nice, what I like about it is it's humane for starters, but then also, you know, and it's a more assured to hit the neck, spine, head, basically. And it will reset itself. So once it fires, if you have additional mice, you know, it's not going to trip it, and then it's no good until you check it again. It'll go ahead and reload itself and reset itself and be ready for the next one. I will say, one time in our humane trap, it's where they can always go in, but they can't come out, basically, and then it holds them. We have caught up to 4 before in one night. So I think this will work out really good and be able to have multiple kills when they're traveling in a pack. And so well, we're going to talk about it a little bit. Inside is a manual, and it actually goes through all the steps, and basically it's a beautiful manual. It's all color, but it talks about things that you should do before you set it even. And one of the things is you use these, what do they call it? Detector cards to help you determine where the most mouse or rat activity is. So what you do is you fold it in half, and then you're gonna screw it into different places and try and determine and watch and check them over the next few days and see where there's rodent activity. So I'm gonna go place a few. Okay, so what we do is we just bend this in half, and you get a little bit of the bait oozing out, and you go fasten it. I'm going to put some next to my where we feed the dogs. I've been successful catching them there. Over by where we store the grain, imagine that, and then also over by the chicken coop. I know there's rats out there. We have mice inside, you know, the garage, but outside there's some rats by the chicken coop under that shed over there. So I'm gonna place these and keep checking them, and we'll see what we got. Okay, now that we have our detection stations placed, put one out in the shed next to the chicken coop, because I have seen some rats and rat droppings in there. That's where we keep the hay as well, so there's plenty of bedding. So I think they go into there. I had a bait station there, and I tell you what, one day my daughter went out to feed lunch, give the horses a flake of hay, and there was a rat right in the middle of the floor, still alive, kind of suffering. I was away and told her, you know, just leave it alone. It'll die soon. The thing stayed alive for a full 24 hours or so. So that kind of was traumatizing to my daughter, and you know, so we decided that's not for us. Okay, so this, I gotta figure out how to get this off. Here's the CO2 canister. They say that you do need to use theirs because it's calibrated, you know, their unit. They can't warranty the unit. If you use a different CO2 cartridge, might have greater pressure, it might blow out some seals, who knows. But basically that's one of the things I read on the website. They sell them there. You should get up to 24 strikes per canister. So the kit that I got did come with a counter, so it senses when the vibration from the strike, and it'll keep count for you. So that way you know when to change this out after about 24 strikes. So I'm not going to hook it up yet. I'm going to wait, and I'll do another video. The booklet says to wait 3 days, detect for 3 nights. And then it kind of shows you what it'll look like. The bottom one is heavy rat or mouse action. All right, so I'll pull the bait cards off, and I'll show you guys, you know, which ones were which and what you know, how much action they saw, I guess you'd say. I'm gonna see. Okay guys, we have gotten some activity. I'll show you some pictures of the bait, and so you can see, you know, what indication there is. So I want to get this thing hung tonight. It's actually 4 nights later. I got home late on the 3rd night, so I didn't put it out. Just check out the handbook. It says to attach this thing to where you're going to mount it. So that you screw that on. It comes with a couple of screws included. See if you can see them. Just pull them off. And then you'll come in here and slip it down. To get it off, push these tabs and pull that off. Okay, we've got our CO2 canister. It's threaded. It just threads right on in there. Okay, got it tight. So now, you know, I should just go ahead and mention, it is loaded now. It'll fire if we hit the thing. So let's see if there's something else. Okay, I'm going to try and trip it with this piece of paper. So the mouse is going to come in from that end. Good God. That has some force. It shot these screws off. That was pretty cool. Okay, so we're gonna stay clear of that. This is gonna end up being, so I don't want to unscrew that. I'm gonna slide this on, twist it just like that, turn it on, and hold it until it zeroes out. There it is. At 0, and then it goes off. Okay, so we'll let this play through. Here you can see where I had it a little high before. They'd come in and really couldn't reach it. They ate the bait right below it, but really couldn't get up in there. So I put a 4x4 block underneath so they could get up onto that. And then even still, I ended up putting a little 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch piece of plywood, a little piece right there so they could get a leg up and get up in there. So I ended up, and it kind of stinks, I checked my SD card in the game camera, and sure enough, that's when I got one. And as it turns out, I got two, so I went back and I was reviewing footage just in case I did get one on camera, and I think I did, and it's going to be the last one that you watch here. I wanted to go ahead and get this video up. I do want to go back and talk about the bait, so I left them out for, they recommend 3 days. I ended up doing 4 days, and it ended up, I saw where they ate the bait, but they didn't chew up the cards, so they must not be that hungry. That is one of the things with the booklet that they send, success tips, and really you want to take away competing food sources. So that way they're hungry and a little more motivated to go up into that dark, scary hole. And you can see, they go up, and there's a lot of times that they just don't get far enough up in there. I think some of it is they're not big enough. Some of these mice are really tiny. Some of them are a little bigger, and those are the ones that I got. But there are some small ones. But it definitely is a more humane way to go. It shoots across and smashes them, basically, their skulls, knocks them out, and then they'll flop around. Here you can see them really climbing up in here, and then you'll see when he's flopping around here in just a minute. So the first time I watched the video, I thought it was that he ran away. But that's not it. He's going to take another shot at it, or another footage here. So he really gets up in there, as you can see. And then he'll come flopping out. I think that was it. I'll try and get some other video. And if your wife is worried about, having this machine, this auto trap, just let her know you don't want one of these coming in to get them. Take it easy, guys. O&D out.